Jay Briscoe dies in car accident in Delaware. The longtime Ring of Honor star and champion was just 38. Ring of Honor wrestler Jay Briscoe and one other person died Tuesday evening after a fatal car crash in Laurel, Delaware. While details are still limited at this time, Delaware State Police did report that the crash occurred in the area of Laurel Road and Little Hill Road around 5:30 p.m. Eastern. It's unknown how many vehicles were involved, but the driver of another car involved also died. According to an initial report on the Shore News Beacon, 4 patients were trapped. There were 2 fatalities and 2 critical patients, with one referenced as pediatric. Briscoe, born Jamon Pugh, is set to turn 39 later this month. Due to the tragic accident, the Laurel School District is closing their schools Wednesday. AEW and Ring of Honor head Tony Khan tweeted the news several hours afterward. A fixture in Ring of Honor for 20 years, Briscoe and his brother, Mark, started making a name for themselves in the early 2000s in the Northeast U.S. indie scene, working for CZW, NWA Wildside, NWA and other promotions. But it was in Ring of Honor that the Sandy Fork, Delaware natives became tag team stars synonymous with the promotion. The 2 first won their Ring of Honor tag team titles in 2003 and had just begun their 13th reign at December's Final Battle by defeating FTR in a double dog collar match. In addition to holding the company's 6-man titles with Bully Ray in 2017, Jay Briscoe also was a 2-time Ring of Honor World Champion. First holding the gold in 2013 and then for a longer run in 2014 through 2015. He and Mark wrestled around the world and held the IWGP Tag Team titles, the GCW Tag Team titles 3 times, the Impact Tag Team titles, and the Never Openweight Tag Team titles, to name just a few. The Briscoes revealed as first Ring of Honor Hall of Fame inductees. The most decorated tag team in Ring of Honor history are the first inductees into the promotion's Hall of Fame. Ring of Honor has announced that the Briscoes, Jay and Mark Briscoe, are the first inductees of the promotion's inaugural Hall of Fame class. They're the first of 4 acts who will be part of the class. The Briscoes started with Ring of Honor when the promotion was launched in 2002. The establishment of the Ring of Honor Hall of Fame is in celebration of the promotion's 20th anniversary. The Briscoes are 12-time Ring of Honor Tag Team champions, including currently holding the titles. Their 12th reign began when they won the titles from the OGK, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, at December's Final Battle pay-per-view. Jay Briscoe is also a 2-time Ring of Honor World Champion. The Ring of Honor TV episode that airs this coming weekend will focus on the Briscoes' careers, and a special on the Briscoes will premiere on Ring of Honor's YouTube channel on Monday, February 7, 2022. A special Hall of Fame episode of Ring of Honor TV will premiere the weekend of Saturday, March 5, 2022. The next 3 Hall of Fame inductees will be revealed on Monday, February 7th, Monday, February 14th, and Monday, February 21st. Ring of Honor has been on hiatus for the first quarter of 2022 as it works to reimagine the company. It will return with Supercard of Honor being held in Garland, Texas this April. Okay, we are going to work through Dave Meltzer's reviews of the trilogy of excellent matches between the Briscoe brothers and FTR. Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor 2022. April 1, 2022. FTR beat Mark and Jay Briscoe to win the Ring of Honor tag titles in 27-23. This was a classic which reminded me of the best Midnight Express vs. Fantastics matches, which ironically are some of Dax Harwood's favorite matches. This was clearly the real main event on the show, and I'd have loved to have seen it go last, but because of the Samoa Joe surprise, the singles title had to go last. The crowd was going nuts even before they locked up, totally different than almost anything other than Cody vs. Seth this weekend. Cash Wheeler is so good technically as a babyface. I think longevity-wise, he's better as a heel, not against the current turn, just long-term, but his working itself like a face is something I had never seen before. Mark did a running flip dive on both. Mark did an elbow off the apron on Dax. Jay was catapulted into a table and came up bleeding. Dax used a superplex off the top rope. They went to near falls. Dax was bleeding. Dax did a slingshot powerbomb on Jay, and Cash followed with a splash off the top, but Jay kicked out. Jay did a Death Valley bomb on Cash on the floor. Jay superplexed Dax from inside the ring to the floor and he landed with a thud on his back. I've seen a ton of suplexes to the floor, but taking that flat back bump in that manner was scary. Mark was bleeding and all 4 were trading shots as the crowd went wild. Mark did a corkscrew moonsault to the floor on Cash. Mark did an elbow off the top on Dax. The Briscoes went for the Doomsday Device on Dax, who ducked, and then FTR did the big rig on Mark to the floor. After the match, FTR bowed to them as a sign of respect to make them faces. They all hugged and fans chanted "Thank you Briscoes" because they realized the future of the Briscoes is a question. The Young Bucks came out, having been teleported from South Carolina. Actually, they did a skit on BTE where they were teleported from Columbia to Garland, Texas, since they were on shows in both cities on TV on the same night, but Columbia was taped, and attacked the Briscoes. They laid out Jay with the BTE trigger. They set up Mark for the Meltzer driver, but FTR made the save. FTR called the Briscoes the greatest tag team of all time, and then Dax challenged the Young Bucks to a match right there. Matt said it would happen, but not here. 5 stars. Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor 2022. July 23, 2023. FTR won 2 of 3 falls over Mark and Jay Briscoe to keep the Ring of Honor tag titles in 43-26. The crowd was way into FTR. Jay did a back suplex on Harwood, who sold it like his legit bad shoulder got hurt. It started slow with heat on Cash Wheeler. Harwood made the hot tag with 2 German suplexes on Jay. Harwood was catapulted into the post. Mark pinned Harwood to take the first fall in 1631 with the Doomsday device. Mark chopped Harwood so hard his chest was bleeding. Harwood did a German suplex and backward superplex on Jay. Harwood went to tag, but Wheeler was pulled off the apron by Mark. Finally, Harwood tagged out. Wheeler did several big moves, including a gory special bomb on Mark. Harwood and Jay brawled in the crowd. Jay hit Wheeler with the ring bell and he was bleeding. Jay used a Death Valley bomb on Wheeler and Mark followed with a froggy bow elbow off the top, but Harwood saved. Harwood gave Mark a flapjack into the ring steps and they hit the big rig, and Harwood pinned Jay to even things up at 29-31. By this point Mark was bleeding badly. Mark used urinages on both Harwood and Wheeler and did a blockbuster off the apron. Harwood gave Jay a pile driver for a near fall. Paul Turner was knocked down and Jay gave Harwood the Jay Driller and had him pinned for a count of 7. FTR gave Jay the big rig, but the ref was down and it was 6 count before Jay kicked out. The Briscoes used the Doomsday device again on, but Wheeler made the save. There was a messed up over the top suplex spot. They traded near falls. Harwood was cut over the right eye. The Briscoes had a double submission with Harwood the legal man, and Wheeler grabbed Harwood's hand so he couldn't tap, and Harwood was able to make the ropes. Harwood did a backwards superplex off the middle rope on Mark through a table. Harwood kicked out of the Jay Driller. Harwood then pinned Jay after a pile driver off the middle rope. The 2 teams celebrated. FTR did an interview where they noted that they fought like an 8-year-old girl. 5 stars. Ring of Honor Final Battle 2022. December 10, 2022. Mark and Jay Briscoe beat FTR to win the Ring of Honor tag titles in 22-22. Mark was bleeding right away. Mark and Cash Wheeler were chained together and Jay was chained to Dax Harwood. Mark bled from over and under the eye. Mark did a flip dive off the stage on Wheeler. Jay was pounding on Harwood with a chain. Harwood was bleeding. FTR did a Doomsday device on Mark with a chain for a near fall. Jay was bleeding like crazy. Wheeler had Mark in a Goria special and Harwood whipped Mark in the gut with a chain. Mark used an elbow off the top on Wheeler for a near fall. Mark suplexed Wheeler on the floor. Wheeler was bleeding. Harwood tried to wrap the chain around his head, but it kept falling off. He tried to hold the chain on and do a diving headbutt off the top rope on Jay for a near fall. Harwood accidentally hit ref Mike Posey with the chain and he was bleeding and out. Paul Turner ran in. Wheeler gave Mark a back suplex on the apron and also threw Mark off the top rope into chairs on the floor. Jay hit the Jay Driller on Harwood. All kinds of near falls. Jay did a low blow and pile driver on a char for a near fall. Wheeler threw a ton of chairs into the ring. Harwood teased a pile driver off the top rope into all the chairs on the mat, but Jay escaped and did 2 blows using the chain, but Harwood kicked out. Jay superplexed Harwood on a bunch of chairs and Jay used a crossface with the chain around Harwood and he passed out and the ref stopped it. The Gunn brothers attacked FTR after the match and Austin Gunn said FTR's legacy was dying and they won't stop until the Gunn brothers are the ones to kill it. The Briscoes chased out the Gunn brothers. Dax was laying on the ground, unable to get up, and said they were coming after the Ass Boys. If you are into a bloodbath type of match, this was a must-see match. If you're not, then you probably shouldn't see it. But for what they were attempting to do, it was incredible, easily among the best matches of the year, the best chain style match ever and among the top tier tag team matches ever. 5.5 stars. Thoughts and compassion go out to Jay Briscoe's family.